tier list every month, going from awful to not good to okay to good to very good, excellent, and player of the season. And it's all averaged out on our player ratings that we've given across the whole season. And I think this is going to be really interesting to see where players land. I don't think there's going to be many in the top echelons because our player ratings have been pretty awful this season.
Well, put it this way, we've had a terrible league campaign and a good Europa League campaign, but the player ratings takes it all into account. And unfortunately for these players, there's a lot more Premier League games than Europa League games. So, that's obviously going to take its toll.
Yeah. So, let's start off with Matisse Tell.
Matisse Tell,
I think he's going to go into
this is
not good.
Whole season 5.5.
Yeah, he goes into not good. Matisse Tell.
Yeah, hasn't really done it since coming in. Played 16 times this season, and unfortunately for him, it's just been poor. It's just been poor for a lot of the time he's been here. Hasn't been able to really get going. Obviously, we loaned him, I think, with the idea of trying to get an immediate impact. But unfortunately, given he's 19 and didn't play a lot of football before he came, it didn't happen. It didn't happen as much as we'd like. I do think there's a good player in there. I really believe that. And given time, I think he can really be a good player for whoever, for us or whoever signs him next. But I don't know if we saw enough to justify signing him.
Not for me. I was so excited when we signed him because I really believed in the player and what I saw from him of Bayern. I really thought he was going to come in and make an instant impact, but it was anything but that, to be honest, and he really disappointed me. There were flashes at times where you're thinking, all right, this guy's got something, and I do think he's got something, but I think this market we need experience, and I wouldn't re-sign Matisse Tell, to be honest. I would look for more experience in the summer. Would you re-sign him?
I'm conflicted on it. I think I wouldn't sign him as our main option. I would be open to signing him again, but we need another top-class forward on top of him, for sure. And I just fear that we wouldn't do that. So
yeah, but is there enough space in the squad to sign two wingers? I don't think there is.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's either him or someone else.
Then I wouldn't sign him.
Yeah. Next up is Mikey Moore. So obviously a really good Europa League campaign. When he did play in the Premier League, didn't really get to grips with things. I think he's going to go into okay.
6.2.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, for, if he's going to be judged against everyone else in the squad, okay is fair. But for a 17-year-old making his name in the squad, he did very well. Yeah,
agreed. And obviously, we are judging him as if he's just a regular member, and as that's the reality. But I think 16 games this season, if you told him before the season he'll probably play that much, he'd probably be very happy with it. And I think he's shown in some games, like RZ at home, and obviously scored against Elfsborg and those kind of things. And also came on against Everton, I remember. Goodison was brilliant. So there's been some games where he's shown this is a serious talent. But look, he's 17. It's going to take time.
The thing is with Mikey Moore, right, he got that illness at just the wrong time for him because he was just starting to make an impact in the Europa League. He just scored that goal and then he got ill. And I felt like if he would never have got ill at that point, we might have seen further development in him.
And he would have got so much more game time because he had so many injuries.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
Richarlison up next. Not that much football this season. How many games did he end up playing?
18.
18 games. I'm going to say he goes into probably not good or okay.
5.7.
Yeah, he goes into not good.
Yeah, hasn't been good this season. Obviously, he's been very sporadic in terms of when he's been fit. 18 games the whole season tells its own story. In terms of lately, did contribute, I would say. Fair enough, he contributed to the Europa League win with some good performances, but it's not like he was incredible. He just was a good part of the team. But it's been a poor season overall, unfortunately, for Richarlison.
Brennan Johnson again. I'm going to say he goes into good.
5.6.
Oh, he goes into not good.
And apparently Rishi's had a better season, apparently we're saying, than Johnson, which is
mad.
Incredible. I mean, it goes to show what we think of a lot of his performances, regardless of the goals. Because it's like when he scores, he'll get like a 7. He rarely gets more than a 7 because he either scores and doesn't do anything or doesn't do anything. But he does score a lot. And when he doesn't do anything, we give him like a 3. And then when he does do something, we give him like a 7. He's never getting 8s and 9s, is he? Very rarely. So that's what's leading to that kind of score.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because
Top goal scorer, and we're saying he's been not
he's
good.
literally a hero now.
I know. I think not good is very harsh, but
it is what it is. That's where he goes. That's where we rated him. Who's next? Next is Solanke. So with Dom Solanke, I think he'll go higher than Brennan. I think he'll go into okay.
6.3.
Yeah, he goes into okay.
Which again, goal scoring record needs improving. Had some good games. I can see at Villa at home, we gave him a 10 out of 10.
I don't think there's going to be much more than okay in this tier list.
Because it's just because of how many bad games we've had, and we've had to rate harshly. He's played 41 games this season, Dom Solanke. But yeah, 6.3. Look, I'm happy with him. I think he's a good player. I did want more from him. I'm not to say I would expect more, but I do think we can see what he offers, and he offers a lot. And I do think maybe next season he can up his goal output. I am sure of it. But as well, I'm a bit disappointed that maybe his finishing ability is not as good as I'd hoped.
Yeah. Cuti Romero, unfortunately, I think he's going to go into not good as well.
6.4.
Oh, he goes into okay. On the cusp of good, to be honest. So that's the best one yet.
Yeah. Saved himself lately with a 10, 9, and 8 and a 9 in the latest Europa League games. Before that, start the season very awkwardly. Got a 6, 9, 6. And he's been inconsistent ever since. And then they did get a 1 out of 10 away at Wolves. But recently, he's got an 8, 9, and a 10. So I think that's really saved his overall season, Cuti Romero.
Wilson Odobert up next. So Odobert, he started off okay, got injured for a long time, and then he came back, had that game against Alkmaar. But apart from that, I think he flat to deceive a little bit. And I think Odobert is really inconsistent from what we've seen from him so far. I think he's got attributes that could do really well in our team. But I've been a bit disappointed.
I just think he's a young player who's barely played. He got a big injury, 2 big injuries at the beginning of the season, and he's basically just been coming back from it. I think we've seen flashes, but hasn't really got the time on the pitch that much. He's got quite a bit on the end, but he needs more game time. He's young. We signed him as a 19-year-old. He's only had 1 season in the Prem. Just needs a bit more time. But look, just purely based on what we've seen, and regardless of context, yeah, he's been inconsistent. 5.5.
5.5, yeah, not good.
Not good for Wilson.
Next up is Lucas Bergvall. Now we're going to get someone good, hopefully, and I'm going to hopefully say he's been, I don't know, because there's the beginning period, so I'm going to give the benefit of that. I'm going to say very good.
6.6.
Oh, come on. He goes into good.
Goes into good. Well, his last game against Liverpool away, he got a 5. So I think that maybe skewed it. Yeah, in the beginning part of the season, mixed. He got a kind of 6s and 7s. But there was this middle period where he was getting consistently 7s, 8s, and 9s. But unfortunately, he just lands on a good 6.6. But yeah, I think overall, though, it's been a very good season for him in terms of his first season.
Yeah, unbelievable season. Next up is Yves Bissouma. I think Bissouma's going to go into not good, unfortunately.
6.1.
Oh, not bad.
Goes into okay. Goes into
one of the better players.
Again, look, if I look at his ratings beginning of the season, first 5 games, he got a 9, 7, 7, 8, 5, and then 9. So quite a good start. But then during January, he was averaging, I can see here, during that period, he was averaging a 5 in that period, like January, February time. Then lately, 8, 6, 8, and a 9. So
what was the one before the 9?
Was a 4.
You missed that one out.
Yeah, but over, that was in the Prem. But I'm saying in the Europa League, 2 8s and a 9.
Yeah, he did very well in the Europa League. Yeah, better than I expected, to be fair, for Bissouma. Next up is Will Lancashire. I mean, he only played 1 or 2 games. I think he goes into can't judge.
Yeah, Lancashire. I mean, 6.5, but yeah, probably.
He goes into can't judge.
A couple games, and then we only gave him 2 ratings and went on loan.
Reguilon as well. We'll put him into can't judge, I think.
He did play 5 games.
5? You wanna rate him?
He played 5 games. Got 5.6.
5.6. I mean, what are we saying is like you can be judged on a whole season? Like 5 games still seems a bit little to me.
Does it? I mean, yeah, I don't know. What's the What's the barometer for a whole season you could be judged on if you've played? I mean, 5 games seems to be probably the minimum, I would say.
I'd say a bit more, maybe. Like 7 or 8 games.
7 or 8? Why 7 or 8? What's the difference?
Because like Reguilon, like he played 5 games, right? But one of them was against Tamworth. The other games that he played is in like completely nothing games. Like he had no impact in the season, and he was never meant to have an impact in the season.
He still
and
played 5 games.
He was never going to be picked like in any sort of game. Like
why does that matter?
Where we wanted to win.
Why does that matter?
Because he played 5 games. Because he's pretty much disregarded as a Tottenham player this season. He was used as a training cone.
Why does any of that matter when we're judging his performances over the season?
Because he's going to be getting a better rating than some of the players that we had this season over the course of the season, and some of those players had a lot more impact and a positive impact at Spurs this season.
Look, he's played 5 games. I don't know about all that. He's just played 5 games. We're rating him on those 5 games.
I think it's way too low. Let's see what the comments think. They say 10 plus.
10 plus?
5 way too low.
All right.
Look, if you want to put him in there, you put him in there. But I think
you got a 5.6. I mean, it's not. I don't know what the big deal is. You got a 5.6.
All right, put him in. Whatever. He goes into not good.
He goes into not good.
Ben Davis. He probably goes into not good as well. Maybe okay.
Ben Davis. He 6.1.
Yeah. Okay. Just about.
A lot of 5s and 6s for Ben Davis this season. But to be fair to him, he got saved because at the beginning of the season, he came in that little period when we had the injury crisis. He got 7, 8, 6, 10, 8 and 8 in December time. So he was good, but after that, it's just been a lot of 5s and 6s. But yeah, actually, I think he's played over 20 games this season, Davis.
Yeah.
So he actually played quite a bit.
Yeah, he did 20 injuries.
He's played 26 games. But yeah, 6.1. Okay.
Pape hasn't had a great season this year, unfortunately. I think he's going to go into not good.
5.8.
Yeah. Close to okay, but yeah, I was really expecting Pape to kick on this season. Had a good performance in the final, but apart from that, he's flattered the sea for me.
You know, Pape has played our most games this season.
What, more than Porro?
53.
And Porro?
53. Porro is, I think, a bit less. I think he's played like 48, I think I saw. Porro's played 48.
Wow.
So Pape is, I mean, that goes to show how much he's played, especially during the injury crisis. So, and also a young player as well. I know he showed a lot of consistency last season, but I think maybe cut him a bit of slack. He's played so much. Throughout the whole injury crisis and whatever, he never got injured or anything. He's playing a hell of a lot of football. And yes, there's no getting around it. He's had a lot of poor games and his standards maybe dropped from last season. But he also did have some really good games as well. And look, I'm not saying give him a pass because he's had a poor season. No, don't get it wrong. But, you know, cut him some slack, I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's like, no way I want him sold or anything. I still believe in his ability.
Great performance in the final as well.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just not been a great season. Next up is Mickey van der Ven. Surely he's had a good season. I'm going to say he goes into good.
7.
Come on, very good.
We've got a very good in there. We've got one. Finally. Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, to be fair, every time he's stepped foot on the pitch, apart from maybe a couple of Premier League games when he just came back from his injury, apart from that, he's been very good. 21
games he's played this season. Yeah, and average of 7. Obviously, had big parts of the season, but he barely played. But to be fair, I remember the Brighton game. He had a bit of a mare away.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he's been pretty.
Minte put him in a pretzel, didn't he?
Yeah. Apart from that, though, he's had a lot of very good games. Most of the time, he's been pretty consistently great. So fair play to him.
Next up is Radu Dragusin. Probably not good.
5.7.
Yeah, he goes into not good as well.
Obviously suffered that ACL in January time. Played 28 games this season.
Yeah, he's just not been a good fit for the system. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And he got, sent off in the first 10 minutes, 15
minutes. Against Karabag.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a period, it looked between like November and December, where he was averaging about 6.5. So that's decent.
Didn't he start the Etihad when we won 4-0?
Yeah, so he got a good mark there. But then after the after the Liverpool home game in the in the league, where we beat 6-3, he was only averaging a 5. So I think he let his standard slip. But he was actually not having a terrible season in our ratings before that.
Next up is James Maddison. I think he's going to go into good,
6.3.
Oh, just misses out. He goes into okay.
So, beginning of the season, he got 2 10 out of 10 performances. He got 1 away at Southampton. He got 1 away at City as well. 8 out of 10 against Villa. So, basically, before January, he was averaging close to a 7. And then lately, I mean, he's had good form, but lately he's been good. But it's also, I think, the problem is Europa's been great, and then sprinkled in with just some poor Premier League performances. I think a lot of players is like that. So look, his output was good this season. I thought we had a pretty good season, but yeah, we gave him a 6.3. He only goes into okay.
Archie Gray probably again goes into okay.
5.9.
He goes into not good.
5.9. Yeah,
on the cusp.
String of poor performances in the last few weeks, unfortunately.
The whole squad are just in okay and not good.
Yeah, essentially.
Porro next, probably in okay.
6.
Yeah, just about.
Which is weird because, not weird, but his last 7 games, 9, 6, 9, 9, 7, 8, 7, 7. But unfortunately, his performances in the midway through the season was just so poor, consistent. And also, similar to Sarr, he just never missed a game. So he just played so much during that period. And it really, his rating suffered. Because at the beginning of the season, 2 7s, 2 8s, another 7. Like, he actually had a decent start to the season. But that middle period is what I think a lot of these players suffered for. But to be fair, you got to say, these last 2 months, or month at least, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he has.
Really fantastic.
Next up is Ajayi. He goes into can't judge, but Porro's okay. Porro's okay, right?
Yeah, 6.
Porro's okay. Ajayi can't judge. Destiny Udogi. How many games did Destiny play?
Udogi played. I think he played a fair amount actually. He played 34.
Wow, 34 games Udogi.
Yeah.
He'll probably go into not good or okay or
6.4. Just about misses out.
Nearly misses out on a good.
6.4 again, similar to Porro. Last 6 games, 8, 9, 8. There's a 3, but 9 and 7. Brilliant. But again, beginning of the season. Again, he started the season okay. I can see he had 3 8s in a row, but there was again this middle period just before he got injured where he was really suffering, and then he got that injury. But since he's come back, he's been pretty good for us. And brilliant end to the season. But yeah, just about misses out.
Jed Spence. Surely Jed Spencer gets a good.
6.6.
Come on.
6.6.
Come on,
Fair
Jed.
play to Jed. Good season for him. Coming into the side. Not great the last few weeks, but that again, opposite to Porro and Udogi, that middle period probably is what got him that good rating.
Yeah, he kind of fell off, didn't he, after that Frankfurt game, where everyone expected him to start. Udogi came in, and I felt like he lost his way a bit after that.
Yeah,
in the Premier League. Next up's Dane Scarlett. He goes into can't judge.
Yeah.
And after that is Rodrigo Bentancur.
6.2.
He goes into okay.
6.2.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season from Bentancur. Some really bad performances, some really good performances, and just some meh performances.
Again, start of the season 9, 7, 7, 8, 5, 9. And again, it's the same. This middle period, lots of low ratings.
Yeah.
But then last few weeks, 9, 6, 8, 8, 6, 9. So really strong end to the season for him, showing what he can do. But again, I think it's for this whole squad. It's story of the season, like December, January, February, like
horrible. Yeah,
horrible.
Next up is Timo. It's not the same for him though. I think he goes into awful. Surely
4.6.
Yeah.
4.6.
That's got to be the lowest rating of everyone in the squad.
Yeah, I think so. Literally so horrible, the ratings. 18 games he played.
Yeah.
His highest rating, I can see, was a 7. No, sorry.
The Man City game.
He got an 8 at home to City, and he got a 7 away at Man United. And then all of that, other than that, it's just 4s and 3s.
Didn't he get a good rating away to Palace?
Palace away.
Did he get a 6 or something?
got a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Timo, hopefully that's the last we've seen of him, to be honest. But
We haven't given a rating since Tamworth.
Yeah.
He hasn't played, yeah.
Next up is Vicario. Vicario probably goes into okay or not good.
6.5.
Oh, he goes into good.
Goes into good.
Big up, big Vic. To be fair, since he came back from injury, he was very good, wasn't he? And then he fell off a little bit again.
Before his injury, he was fantastic. Got a 10 out of 10 against City. Didn't have only had one bad rating, which was against Ipswich. Other than that, didn't get below a 6. Had lots of 7s and 8s. Came back and was brilliant for the first 5 games. 8, 7, 7, 8. 8, 7, 7, 7, 8, and 7 for his first 6. But then he had a bit of an iffy period. Chelsea, iffy. Wolves, iffy. Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, all very, very iffy. Yeah, I think Europa League has been very good. 8s, 7s. So I think he deserves his good rating despite some iffy late form. But the problem is because it's happened recently. That's what people remember,
Recency
right?
bias, isn't it?
Recency bias. Actually, the whole season, especially beginning, he was really good.
Yeah, fair enough. Decky up next. Obviously, he was on flying form at the beginning of the season. Since his injury, we've barely seen him. Hasn't been good in those performances where we did see him. So I think he's got a fairly good rating. I think he's going to go into good.
6.4.
Ooh, just misses out.
6.4.
Okay.
That's how. What's mad? Up until. Let me see. This game up until after 25 games, which was the Man United at home in the Carabao Cup, which was December, he was averaging a 7.1.
Yeah.
Since that game, which is the next 25 games, 5.7. So it's literally 25 game splits.
Makes
He played
sense.
50 games. First 25, 7.1, very good. Second, 5.7. So it's been a tale of two halves, I guess, this season
Yep.
with Decky, unfortunately.
I kept saying, we're overplaying him, and then his form dropped off massively. Next up is Sonny. Sonny will probably go into okay or not good.
6.2.
Yeah, he goes into okay. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Look, to be fair, I think when it comes to goal contributions, I think he's right up there for us this season. But unfortunately, there has been a lot of bad games. There just has, like a lot of players. And especially lately, lots of very poor scores. But he has had the odd game where he just gets 2 goals or a goal and 2 assists and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he has had some decent games, which has got his goal and assist tally up. Obviously, for end of the season, that's our top assister in all comps and in the league. But yeah, 6.2 overall.
Brandon Austin. He played 2 games, I think.
3.
3 games. I think he'll go into can't judge. Antonin Kinski. How many games did he play?
He played 10.
Okay, so what does he go in? Does he go into good?
5.4.
Oh, he goes into not good.
Not good. Oh, no. 1 minute.
Can't
Oh,
be that.
yeah. Sorry. 1 sec. Sorry, I think I did it wrong. 1 second.
Come on, Sim, get it right.
Oh, God. Sorry, give me a sec. 6.
6, that makes more sense.
6.
So he goes into okay.
Yeah, which is,
Another
I think, which is fair. Got a 10 out of 10 on his debut.
Yeah, he blew us away, didn't he? Like, he started to pass the ball and everyone's like, wow, we got a goalkeeper that can pass the ball.
But to be fair, yeah, he after that had some iffy form. But the last 2 games against Palace and Villa, I gave him 2 8s. So, fair play.
Fraser Forster, how many games did he play?
He played 12.
So I think when he first came in,
13.
he actually did really well for us, didn't he?
13 games. Yeah.
I think he could go into okay as well.
6.3.
Yeah, he goes into okay. I think when
6.3.
Fraser surprised a lot of people, didn't he, when he first came in, because he played well, but then his performances just started to decline.
Yeah, when he first came in, he got an 8, 7, 8, 9, 7, 7, 8, 7. Bloody hell, he's averaging a 7.6. That's ridiculous. It was in Player of the Season territory, but unfortunately he did drop off, got a 3, 4, then 2 6s. So then he was averaging a 4.7. So, yeah.
And last but not least is Kevin Danso. And surely he goes into okay as well. Maybe even good, but I think
6.3.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
6.3 over the season. So a hell of a lot of OKs.
Yeah.
Which, look, it's the, maybe it's a flaw in the ratings, but it's kind of like because there's been so many high highs in the Europa League and so many low lows in the Premier League, it kind of averages out. But I guess as an overall, it kind of makes sense.
In terms of player of the season, obviously Mickey van der Ven gets our player of the season.
We Are Tottenham TV player of the season. Is that second year in the row?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. I think he got it last year as well.
And then runners-up would be Bergval, Vicario and Spence. So, yeah, I think it's a shame Maddison misses out on that because I think Maddison should be in a shout for it. But
yeah,
Bergval got the official player of the season.
I also don't think Johnson should be that low. I think it's also harsh.
I think let's bump Johnson up to very good just because he scored the winner in
top goal scorer.
And top goal scorer.
Brennan.
No, very good, man. Johnson again, ole.
Come on. And Maddison, yeah, it's harsh on Maddison. I think he should probably be in good. And even maybe a bit harsh on Decky as well.
I don't think it's harsh on Decky because he had a half of unbelievable form and then a half of really bad form. I don't think it's harsh on Decky.
Who else is there? Maybe, yeah. I think other than that, is what it is, I think.
Yeah, well, there you have it. That is our season tier list. And we'll be back for more content for you guys tomorrow. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.